many of you have made systems. Many of you have tried to make systems and then could not understand why you cannot reach. Many of you in the recent past created dynamic system with multiple cores. But what you forgot to do is, I create a mixture of materials in each one that can create a given magnetical and given gravitational, a given alkalineness, and a given acidity. So when it comes to interact with different direction and dimensions, you have to calculate the totality of. And then if you can keep the two units in a constant position, if you introduce a third element, then you dictate the condition of constant production of the same material as you need anywhere in a space. Because this is what happens between the Earth and the Sun. But to create, for example, hydrogen or nitrogen or even gold, there is an element which is the element of the atmosphere of the plasma of the solar system, which is the combination of totality of all the fields of the universe. We'll see, for example, as the Sun is stationary and the Earth rotates around it, in different part of the cycle, different materials are absorbed. If man becomes wise and start measuring, he'll find out in part of the cycle of annual rotation of the Earth around the Sun, we get increase in copper residue falling from the sky. In another we get gold. In another we have more of zinc. In another material. So the whole condition of these two does not change. But as the environment of the plasma of the solar system in interaction with these four field forces changes, it creates and leads to the creation of different matters. Then if we consider this and understand this, we come to a new understanding. And that understanding is by production of new materials. Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. I'm trying to mute Stephanie.
Yes. So by introduction of the new materials or conditions or plasmatic field forces and changing which is the third reactor, we can continuously change the production of the material in this space. We need gold, we produce gold. We need carbon, we produce carbon. We need diamond, we can produce diamond. So as we keep this environment constant, by changing a third position, we dictate what we need to produce. If you look, it's the same as what we saw with the doctors yesterday. This is one patch on one side, and this is patch on the other side. Here, it could be a cancer, it could be a pain. By introduction of the new environment, now that this is the pain or the cancer, we can transfer energy and convert the energy of the cancer to a useful energy. That's what happens to it. In the material production is the same. Now by introduction of the reactor number 3, by keeping the first 1 and 2 constant, we can continuously change, producing as we need different materials. Today's talking is about this. Today's teaching is about this. And in the same process, as we come to the point of the understanding of the space technology, when we go to Arizona, to the Space Center, Research Center of the Keshe Foundation, in so many ways you will see the same thing. In the same way, we understand that we can now produce any matter at any point in the universe. We do not need to carry. We do not need to produce water and carry gallons of it with us. We can produce water at the point and the condition. In so many ways, if you extend the knowledge in a different way, when you come to the desert land or when you come to a farming land, if you fix the environment with your ganses, then what happens in reality, as you plant, Earth gravitational magnetic field and the Sun gravitational magnetic field is always the same. By introduction of the new ganses in the environment of the agriculture piece, you fix the position, which means constantly will be water available. Constantly minerals which is needed for agriculture will be available. This is what we saw in all the agricultural tests which will be shown today. This is what happens in fact with all of us. We can go on the moon and start harvesting bananas and cultivating and having herds of animals. Once we understood the production of the field and dome, as we saw with Tom Sellis yesterday, and then understanding this position. The man in space has no need for anything to take once he understands the interaction of the fixed and then the interaction and introduction of the variable which he decides. You have the oven and you have the dough. It's you that decides if you are going to have a cake, bread, or burnt bread, or just a flour. This is what is been missing and is part of the understanding of the new teaching of today. Understanding that by introduction of the third environment, between the two fixed environments which cannot be changed, we interfere. You will see our scientists in the Research Center of Materials will show you how matter is created. That's all they've done. They have fixed the environment and then they have interfered with the environment according to the field strength which they have put in. They create nickel, copper, they create vegetation, they create anything which you need. In a coming time, as we have the periodic table with this is the copper, this is the zinc, this is its atomic structure, the new science of the plasmatic gravitational magnetic field strength table has to be created. That when you have this and this, you have, and when you add a third at this strength, you can always collect gold.